I want to talk also about some of the stuff that happened in this crazy year, because it has been an absolutely nuts 2025. I was looking back over everything that happened. You wrote a great piece, though, for the Washington Examiner. I urge everybody to check this out, where you outlined some of the most uncovered and misreported stories, basically big lies that got pushed out there this year. You named the slaughter of Nigerian Christians, the decline of gas prices, and Iran's nuclear capability as just a few of these. Tell us about how we have been gaslit by so much of the media and the narrative this year as we start to look at all of these 2025 retrospectives.
Oh, well, thanks for the kind words. Yeah, look, there's gaslighting, and then there's not even putting any gas or any light on the story. And that was the point of my column, where 5 stories that absolutely should have been covered a heck of a lot more were not, intentionally, not because we missed it, like we missed Biden's cognitive decline, where he's shaking hands with the air and having conversations with world leaders who have been dead for literally decades, or forgetting the names of his cabinet members. This was something where, for instance, in Nigeria, I would think that there would be more coverage of a situation where up to 100,000 Christians have been slaughtered since 2009, so 2009, 7,500 this year alone. That's an average of 35 Nigerian Christians per day being murdered, executed in essence. And the world barely hears about it until Donald Trump talks about it. So that was one big story. Gas prices here in the United States are at a 5-year low. I mean, that is something that is pretty remarkable, considering that Trump comes in, drill, baby, drill, and suddenly prices go down. Go figure. That's how these things work. And I could go down the line as far as other stories, including the U.S. taking out Iran's nuclear capabilities at Fordo in that country, flying that mission, not losing one U.S. life as far as carrying it out. And now Iran can't threaten the West, blackmail the West in that capacity. And then obviously the U.S. southern border being closed by Donald Trump without one piece of legislation, just by rhetoric and a new president being in. We went from 12 to 15 million coming into this country to essentially zero. I think that's the story of the year and possibly the decade, James.
And maybe the lesson from all of that is, hey, you know what? You can just do things. Now, on an unhappier note, though, I want to talk, Joe, about this story I have been following myself for the last week, this shooting at the Brown University campus in Providence, Rhode Island. It's a crazy story because the shooter is still on the run. Apparently, they've issued a warrant for somebody's arrest, but they haven't given us the name. There were cameras on campus, but they were disabled because they didn't want ICE agents to use them. This all seems very suspicious, especially when you consider that one of the victims was a rising star head of the college Republicans. What can you tell us about this very strange case?
Oh, yeah. I was on the air for 7 hours on Fox News when this broke over the weekend, co-hosting what's called the Big Weekend Show. And I just kept thinking over and over again that, oh, man, the fact that this could be a shooter in a mask, and then there are 800 cameras at Brown University, apparently not many in this part of the building where he carried out this shooting, where he appeared to be targeting somebody. Because, again, on a Saturday at 4 o'clock in the afternoon, the last thing you expect is that there is a review session for a final exam going on in one of the buildings. Saturday is usually a day where, either you're a student, you're studying in your dorm, a library, or doing other, fun things. So the fact that the shooter knew this, went to that building, somehow got access, because you got to swipe your way in, so may have had some help in some capacity, and then in the cover of night was able to get away. Yeah, they appear to have found somebody now, but again, it's the non-transparency that's really a big issue here. This appears to be so political now at this point in terms of protecting the identity of the shooter and not talking about the fact that a girl who was the head of the Republican club at Brown was gunned down as one of the 2 victims that died. This appears to be targeted, and it appears to be that person that was the target.
And it's just appalling to me that the authorities have just been, running so much cover on this. It's just bizarre, and I hope that they catch this guy and we find out more about this soon. Hey, now we got to look forward into the new year, into 2025. It has been reported, and I don't see any reason not to think so, there's going to be another government shutdown as early as next month due to the ongoing stalemate over, this time, health insurance subsidies. Tell me, are we likely to see another U.S. government shutdown in January? And more to the point, is this part of a calculated strategy by the Democrats to throw as many roadblocks and logs across the tracks and everything else for Trump to make him and the Republicans look bad and chaotic before the midterms?
James, I'll answer your second question first. Yes, obviously, Democrats don't care about the people that they are supposed to represent, whether that be military members not getting paid, federal workers not being paid, SNAP benefits not being given out to those who need it most, as far as will they eat tonight or will they not? So they figured it worked for them, I guess, during the last government shutdown. This will be part of the strategy once again. And the irony is that Republicans will vote to reopen the government over and over again. Democrats will reject it. And then the media will say that it's actually Republicans that are at fault. So Democrats know in the United States that the media will work with them hand in glove as far as pushing a narrative that is absolutely false. And it's all in an effort to get back power in November 2026 during those midterms. And if you could try to sideline the Trump economy, and it's going to explode next year with the big, beautiful bill coming into play, Trump tax cuts being permanent, no tax on tips, more drill, baby, drill. The only way they could win is by basically trying to trip up the government and its progress, and to root against Trump and to root against America's success. That's how Democrats get back into power. And that's the party that says they're protecting democracy. Yeah, no, not based on their actions. That does not appear to be the case, James.
Well, it's not democracy, it's our democracy. Remember that, Joe? That's what they always talk about. But do you think they might even go so far as to trying to launch another impeachment effort against the president next year?
Yes, if they gain back power and we have House Speaker Hakeem Jeffries, it will be impeachment in perpetuity for Donald Trump during his final 2 years in office. That creates chaos. Chaos is a ladder. And then they hope they could use that ladder to get either Kamala Harris, who's now the poll leader as far as getting the Democratic nomination, getting her into power finally, or Gavin Newsom, or even AOC. Yeah, that's the thing. Create chaos and then hope that within that chaos, you could gain back power instead of, again, doing what's right for the country. And that doesn't appear to be the Democrats' playbook right now.
Doesn't look to have been that for quite a long time. Joe Concha, thanks so much, as always, for joining me at the U.S. Report, and have a great Christmas and New Year.
Merry Christmas. Happy New Year, sir. We'll see you in 2026.